First of all, guys, if you would like to support me, my PayPal link is down in the description. And a premature thank you to every single one of you. Now kick your feet up, sit back, and grab your popcorn because I'm here with part 2 of What If Naruto Was the Water Element? Remember to get this one too. 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also, guys, if you're new, I indeed have 3 more channels, which makes this number 4, guys, which I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So yeah, a channel will be posting a What If every single day. Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, Anime Symbol, guys. The others would be linked down in the description along with my PayPal, so if you like to support, you can go ahead and do that. If otherwise, well, sit back and relax and enjoy this. And don't forget to turn on the bell notification and see when I post because I do post a hell of a lot. So without further ado or wasting more time, let's begin this now, guys. So, to do a bit of a recap for the last part that we left off, Naruto was unable to access his chakra, which became a huge problem. While he had chakra circulating through him, he was unable to truly access his chakra, and that was going to be a huge problem. Hiruzen did not believe that Naruto would be able to partake in being a ninja unless he had to put him in a different situation, which would have Naruto graduate a year before in order to help him with his taijutsu. However, Naruto picked up something one day, something that he believed in, something that he believed was the answer. He was able to manipulate water molecules in a way that did not require chakra, which was strange. Naruto had a strange energy coursing through him. He made a deal with the Hokage, which resulted in Hiruzen giving Naruto books about the human body that would help him in his physical training as well. He gave Naruto until he was 10 years old, so that he could make a choice that he could put him in a different program so he would be able to move physical instead of just offensive attacks. So Naruto got to work for the next couple of years, focusing on his water manipulation, and while Naruto was very good, this was something hard to develop and master, as he found himself threading into very dangerous avenues, but things were going rather well, as Naruto started to learn that he could stay underwater for around 2 hours. But the more time passed, the more intense this got. When he finally brought Hiruzen to show him, Naruto was able to generate a ball of water in his hand that he was able to fire with enough force to break the bark off a tree. But not only that, he could change the molecules of the water, creating a dense steam around himself to keep him hidden and protected. However, at the moment it was much too small, due to the fact that he wasn't a master of it just yet. Not to mention he could sense through the water. His radius might be small now, but he just needed more time. Hiruzen decided to help Naruto especially due to the promising factors of all of this, as he was helping Naruto's growth, trying to nurture this strange ability. The doctors that test Naruto believed that he was the next step in human evolution. The next step where shinobis stop relying on hand signs, where shinobi stop relying on the chakra but manifestate the elements from their core itself. They had such high props, believing that Naruto was going to be something special. Naruto was a very special child more than that, as there were certain things that he didn't know. Hiruzen did not tell Naruto about the nine-tailed fox. Naruto had no idea about the beast at all, due to the fact that it was because of special circumstances why Naruto graduated. Well, he wasn't able to take on Mizuki, who tried to steal a forbidden scroll. So there was many avenues and different sections that change up the Naruto universe right there and then. As Naruto had no idea that he had the nine-tailed fox, Naruto started to develop and grow even more. When he finally got a Jonin sensei on Team 7, his questions came every single time. Naruto was able to get Team 7 members to work with him. Sakura saw Naruto as a good teammate. He was nice, calm and gentle. Not to mention, due to the fact that Naruto wasn't hiding that much what he can do, Sasuke found himself rather intrigued to challenge Naruto and one-up him. But due to the fact that Naruto was already showing elemental manipulation, the other two felt like they were being left behind, forcing Kakashi to do something that he wasn't ready for. However, he taught them the tree walking exercise and showed them their affinity, Sasuke possessing too. However, Naruto was able to change the molecules inside the paper and make the water feel like the paper itself. That should be impossible, but he did it. So they were trying to figure that out. His onslaughts of questions were actually very beneficial as Naruto was growing. It allowed him to create a clone. The clone mimicked what he desired by sliding up the tree, breaking the very law of gravity itself by using the force of running water, but instead of going down, it went up, allowing Naruto to walk up the tree without much of a problem. Kakashi reported this back to Hiruzen, who was more and more intrigued by exactly how Naruto was doing this. It seems the doctors were right after all, as Naruto was proven to be the next step in human evolution. Kakashi decided to take them out to make sure that they were gaining experience. As they head towards the land of Wave, they came across the Demon Brothers first though, and Naruto and Sasuke work as a good team, with Sakura protecting the client. However, one of the Demon Brothers bled, and Naruto felt something. Yes, he felt something rather unique. As Sasuke hit him with a fireball, it was his blood, as a new avenue was opening up for Naruto. So yeah guys, basically as we left off, you guys can switch across the playstick of yourself to begin this new episode. Naruto has never felt this happy before. Team 7 had decided that they would help Tazuna, despite him lying to them. They ventured towards the land of Wave. As Naruto was sitting in the boat, the sensation, a wonderful sensation of bliss and happiness was spreading through him. Everything felt so amazing. It was the water, a vast, deep reservoir. As he sat there, lying down, it felt like he was on cloud 9, like he was high. His whole body felt so rejuvenated, so amazing. Even after exiting the boat, the air was so rich with water. The sensation was thickening. "Are you alright?" Sakura said, noticing the look on his face, believing that he might be seasick. However, he smiled at her, a radiant, happy smile. "I'm just fine," he said. As they ventured towards a rather thick misty area, the place was becoming more and more filled with mist. Sakura questioned, "Is it always this misty?" "Mostly in the early morning," Tazuna said. However, this was, well, while it was not rare, it was not that common for it to be this misty, especially at this time. Kakashi Hatake, while pretending to read his book, keeping his eye open. They heard movements in the bushes. "What's that?" Sakura said, snapping her gaze towards it. "It's an animal," said Naruto. The next moment a rabbit jumped out. Even Sasuke was curious how the hell did he know that? Naruto could sense through the water, but that was when he was inside of the water itself. But the place being so rich and thick with water droplets in the mist provided that extra strength, allowing him to feel the rabbit. Think of his ability as a mental hand that wrapped around his target and can feel exactly what it is through the droplets that were in the mist. Naruto felt something on the edge of his senses. Something was there, but it was not that close. Due to his inexperience, due to his premature strength, he could feel something, but he could not define what it truly was, unlike the rabbit that was a few feet away from him. However, he felt the object whipping through the sky. Kakashi was able to understand first though. Everyone get down! They all ducked to the ground as a blade slammed in the tree. Zabuza Momochi, a vicious, wicked man, gazed down towards them all, a sensation of death and dread. He was here to kill the client. There was no going around that. Team 7 found themselves in a compromising position as Zabuza decided to use his greatest tool against them. He dashed into the mist, realizing who he was dealing with. Things became a lot worse when he started to list out how he was going to remove their organs, piece by piece. The dread sensation started to overwhelm them. Sasuke was having a hard time even breathing. Sakura was trembling like a leaf, as Naruto could feel himself being pushed into submission by this overwhelming power. When he felt it, as his eyes were closed, it was like tiny droplets inside of the ear itself. A connection, a strength. Naruto lashed on, spreading his own essence into it, trying to take it, trying to master it. Kakashi Hatake, who was about to break through the pressure with his own chakra, watched. Even Zabuza was surprised. What the hell? Sasuke felt the feeling vanish away as he turned his gaze to see Naruto's eyes close. A blue light emanating from him. It started to spread like a thin, translucent layer, wrapping around Team 7. It was like a dome. While it was completely easy to go through, it protected them from the influence by connecting to the droplets in the ear. It was Naruto's own power spreading through the environment that was so rich with water. However, Naruto felt the sudden change as Zabuza Momochi appeared in the center. He was going to behead all of them, but Kakashi showed why he was their Jonin sensei, besting the man, which led to a clash. Unfortunately though, the mist that was still thick within most areas, Zabuza used it to his advantage and Kakashi got captured. Fearing the worst, he shouted towards them, telling them to get away, to run. Zabuza was all smirks under his bandages. They won't get too far, he said, summoning 3 water clones. Sakura swallowed thickly. What do we do? The client was trembling as he saw 3 replica of that demon coming towards them. I have an idea, but we have to act fast. Despite Sasuke's arrogance, he did not hesitate to listen to what Naruto had to say, because even he knew that he paled in comparison to this man. Naruto slammed his hand together as a mist. A different mist generated from him, covering every single person within his vicinity. Zabuza was intrigued. Perhaps not all of them are that useless, he remarked. The next moment though, something dashed through the ear. It was Sasuke Uchiha, who released a massive fireball. One of the clones was easily able to move, the other ones jumping away as well, evading the attack, only for several shurikens to be launched towards them. They were easily able to block them. It was courtesy of Sakura Haruno. They landed back on the water and smirked, approaching the team. You're nothing but a bunch of kids. This won't work. You're going to all die today, he remarked. However, where's the other one? Zabuza said. Deep within the water, Naruto was blazing as fast as he possibly could. He was distance away, knowing that if he got too close, they would be screwed. He extended both of his hands. As the water started to generate around him, he then started to slowly spin, allowing the current to move him even more and more and more and more. Zabuza snapped his gaze downwards. Impossible, he said. The water exploded out like a geyser as Zabuza had to move his arm, being sucked into a pool. Kakashi Hatake broke free, and in an instant, he eviscerated the three water clones. Naruto popped his head out of the water as Kakashi's hand grabbed the back of his shirt and lifted him up. Thanks for the assist, he said. Get back with the other two. I'll handle the rest. His Sharingan swirling in his eye. Sakura had a big smile on her face. You did it. Now that Sensei is free, he should be able to stop this guy. Sasuke was watching carefully, trying to understand the strength of someone who was given the title Jonin. And what a battle it was. Zabuza even questioned his own sense of reality. Can you see into the future? He had to question Kakashi Hatake. Yes, I do. And I see your death. Naruto felt something as he turned his gaze. Someone was approaching. His senses was able to pick up on someone hunkering down behind the tree, watching. Why? They're just watching and waiting. As he stood there, Kakashi was about to end it, but the person threw Senbons. Due to Team 7 proximity from the copy ninja who was speaking to the masked ninja. Who is that? Sasuke questioned. It looked like a hunter nin, Sakura said, understanding the premise of hunter ninjas. She's never actually seen one before. Well, in person, that is. Team 7 watched as he picked up his target or whatever and making his way off. Kakashi Hatake noticed something strange, wondering if it was because of their situation, but this was something good to keep in mind. He turned to face the members who were approaching, eyes smiling towards them. Good work, everyone, he said. Because of all of you, we were able to... Sensei, what's wrong? Said Sakura. Kakashi fell forward, only for Tazuna to catch him in his arms. The man was exhausted, terribly so. Time skip. A lot has happened. It has only been a day, but a lot has happened. For one thing, Naruto wished that Konoha resided within its land. Yes, he wished that this was where he lived. The environment was so rich with water. Given the sea that was nearby, it was so wonderful to him. On the other side though, the people here were not doing so well. Now Naruto truly understand why Tazuna had lied to them. If he hadn't, things would have just gotten more worse and worse. Kakashi was still recovering. His Sharingan took a lot out of him, but they had a problem. Now Naruto understood why the so-called hunter did not intervene right away. He was an accomplice of Zabuza Momochi. So Zabuza was alive and he will attack them once again. Kakashi already teach him the tree walking, and now it was off to the water walking. Well, for the other two, it was going to help strengthen their chakra reserves as well. But Naruto did not need that because walking on water was unnatural for him. He could just walk on water normally. Define logic. Define reason. Yes, but It was his power. How? He still had no idea. The doctors believed that he was the next step, the first person to ever truly be the next step in the human evolution, and that in a few, perhaps 1,000 years, nothing would ever be the same. Ninjas would change completely. They had spoke about a lot while they were examining him. As Naruto stood there, having some time on his own because there was a lot of things that he wanted to work on. Kakashi Hatake had gave him a lot of the information that he needed, allowing Naruto to transcend all of his limits that he was trying to break. He was trying to increase the strength of his weapons that he was able to make. His kunai was able to firmly plant itself in a tree. He could create a shield that was strong enough to withstand enough blows. Then again, his strength and someone like Zabuza Momochi was not the same thing. He could create a spear and even a sword as well. He could also manipulate the mist cloak even more, creating a mist that was large enough to cover a tree. Given that before it was only him, but now he could cover a tree itself. So that was good. He could also create over 5 water bullets at a time. And judging by the force and the speed, the more he lessened, the stronger they became. But that was his problem. He wanted to increase the number and also increase the strength along with it as well. So Naruto was working hard, trying to overcome these limits. He could spend 5 hours in water now, relaxing without even having to draw a single breath. And the more time he did this, the stronger this ability becomes. It was almost like he was a sea creature. And now, his ability to sense, he called it his water sense. While he was within the water, anything that stepped within the vicinity, and his vicinity was wide, he could tell what it was. He could tell its shape. He could tell its mass. He couldn't quite tell its complete strength yet. But that was a work in process, as Naruto kept on training. Kakashi was being very generous in the information that he was supplying, allowing Naruto to reach new heights. The copy ninja could see a future where each member of his team surpassed some of the greats in history. Even Sakura, that did not hail from a clan from genius or a clan that was a clan. She had civilian appearance, and yet the girl just needed training, proper training. Kakashi was helping her with her earth affinity, given that she was the only one that was lacking in that department, with Sasuke already mastering fire, and now, well, basically bombarding him with more and more questions to teach him about the lightning release. But Kakashi did not believe that he was ready for that. Give it a few months, not yet, as he was trying to get his control better, his speed and strength up as well. Using only flashy jutsus were not always going to help you. And despite Naruto being quite different, his growth rate was also truly insane as well. So Kakashi was able to see a dream of all of them, surpassing some of the greats. And he would do his best to nurture out that potential as best as he can. Moments later, Naruto stripped down to his shorts as he proceeded to dive into the massive open ocean. Naruto swam and swam and swam and swam until he was at the bottom level. While it was not exactly the lowest floor, he stopped. He calmed himself. He needed to get stronger. The enemies were only growing in strength. He thrust his fist forward, only to see the shockwave of the water barreling forward. An idea that he had on his mind, something that Kakashi had told him. He wanted to see if he was able to pull it off. Naruto held his hand out and clenched his fist. The water swirled around his hand and started to turn and elongate into a whip. But it deformed a moment later. Yet, a smile greeted Naruto's face. It can be done. Time skip. Iniri, the son of Tsunami, was losing it. He was angry, extremely so, because Team 7 was acting like this was no big deal, but this was his life. And he's watched time and time again as he and everyone else lose hope, and yet they were acting like everything was alright. And that pissed him off. That pissed him off to no end as they were acting this way. It angered him. Thus he blew up on them, cursing at each and every one of them. What don't they understand? They were going to die. They couldn't beat Gato, no one could. He was a monster that destroyed everything in his way, and everyone in his way as well. Iniri ran out of the room, angered and tearful. As he left, Naruto got to his feet. Kakashi gazed over towards him, but he made his way, where he saw the boy sitting on the pier, gazing out towards the moonlight. "Mind if I sit?" Naruto said. Iniri immediately dries his tears and mumbles something under his breath. As Naruto proceeded to sit down, "You're right," he said. Iniri never expected to hear that. But that wasn't exactly what Naruto was talking about. Things are bad now. Extremely bad now. You've lost someone that is dear to you. And I understand that can be extremely painful. And people that haven't been through something like that can't imagine what you're going through. But you should know, that's the main reason why we're here. We are here to ensure that none of that happens anymore. The young child had got Naruto thinking about his own past. Despite 1 and 2 not being connected when it came to the villagers, being strange around him for reasons why he wasn't quite aware. He tended to block out most of those stuff, as he was always focused on one thing or another. But for some reason he was treated differently than most of the kids. He saw the way they looked at him. He never truly understood why. He knew the Hokage knew something, but there was something that he did not know. And right now this child has to experience a life with nothing but suffering and pain. Naruto felt bad for him, believing that his words could perhaps help young Iniri. "Tell you what," said Naruto as he placed a hand on his shoulder. "We will do our best to ensure that this monster never harm anyone ever again. And even if you don't believe in me and the 2 others, believe in Kakashi-sensei. He's known as a Jonin back in our village, and he's extremely powerful, like insanely so. So believe in that, because if you stop belief, is there really any point of going on?" Iniri froze up when he heard that, as Naruto got up and started to walk away. It sounded so similar to what Kaiser had said. So similar. The next day, Naruto continued his training. As he was mostly around the sea area, he never ventured out, unaware that the same so-called hunter Nin was picking medicine herbs. However, Naruto was too busy. The other 2 had different things to focus on, as Naruto dived deeper into the depths of his abilities and finding more powerful ways to enhance his strength. Kakashi was monitoring Naruto just in case. However, when he realized that Naruto had been underwater for around 7 hours, things started to become rather concerning. The last time Naruto said he could only maintain it for 5. Could this be a sudden growth, or perhaps Naruto burst out of the water as he proceeded to collapse? Due to how far he was, Kakashi could not tell what was going on down there. However, Naruto was exhausted, physically and mentally. It wasn't because of the lack of oxygen. That didn't seem to be bothering him slightly, not even a pinch. However, he was exhausted. He went to sleep that night without even eating anything. The next morning, the copy ninja felt it best to allow him to rest as they left him inside. As the rays of the sunshine shined through the window and hit him on the face, Naruto opened his eyes. He pulled himself up, rubbing his eyes. It seems like it was already morning. A smile crept on his features. A happy one. There was a reason why he was so exhausted last night. He was smiling triumphantly. There was a reason why he was so exhausted last night. He finally pulled it off. That is when he sensed it, immediately leaping through the window. Iniri, as his mother was knocked unconscious, ran straight ahead, not caring for anything else, just to protect her. However, as he closed his eyes, his arms wailing in the ear. "It's alright," he heard. Confused, he opened his eyes to see Naruto in front of him. The two thugs were nowhere to be seen. Checking on his mother, she was fine. Iniri was all smiles. Naruto dropped a hand on his head. You rushed in to save her despite being outmatched, overpowered by these guys. And you say there's no more heroes. Well, I think I'm looking at one, Naruto said. And now it's my turn to do my job. Knowing that something must be wrong if these two came here. Iniri had tears in his eyes as Naruto was able to reignite that hope inside of him. Meanwhile, on the bridge, Sasuke was exhausted, having a hard time keeping up. However, the hunter ninja wasn't trying to kill him, it seems, or maybe the Uchiha was just that good. There was two possible theories. Sasuke was having a hard time when the needles started to grow more and more. Was he going to die here? Was this going to be it, he thought, as two needles slammed into his shoulder? You're too weak. That is the reason why you're not dead. There's no purpose in killing you. It would just be a waste of time. I did it to test the strength of my abilities. Those words rang through his head. Sasuke's anger snapped and awakened something that was simply locked away. It resurfaced. He flipped away. Haku, the hunter nin, was shocked. How was he able to react to that? And now, the Sharingan was on display. Naruto was blazing towards the bridge as he arrived, when he saw the ice dome. As he felt it, he saw Sasuke surrounded by several reflections through the gap of one of them. Despite awakening the Sharingan, his body was still unable to properly keep up. Sasuke collapsed down to one knee only for every single Senbon to be knocked away. He blinked as Naruto was in front of him. On the outside, Sakura was smiling, happy to see that Naruto was here, having to stay by the client's side to keep him safe. But Naruto was here, so him and Sasuke can work together to overpower this foe. Another one, I see, Haku said, gazing down towards Naruto. But it will not change either of your fates. The both of you will lose to me today. And that is a promise. Several Senbons were thrown at Naruto blindside. However, he weaved out of the way, and moving Sasuke, dodging all of them. He turned with a smirk on his face. Is that the best that you can do? He asked. Haku was really confused. How? Due to the reflection, Haku's speed had been quadrupled. And Haku was a pretty fast individual. So how is it possible that he was keeping up? This makes no sense at all. He realized that he was going to be running out of chakra soon if he didn't do something. So he aimed for Sasuke, aiming after the injured, trying to get Naruto as Naruto fell for the bait. Naruto jumped in the way as several Senbons hit him in the back. All of them created from Haku, ice manipulation, having ran out of normal Senbon some time ago. Naruto collapsed on the ground as Sasuke struggled to get to his feet. As Naruto was unable to move, Haku emerged. "It's over," he said, as he stood in front of the both of them. "I told you there was no chance that you would be able to defeat me." "You're right. About one thing," said Naruto. "It is over. But not for us." Haku looked down as he saw something wrap around his leg. What the hell? He was yanked and thrown right towards Naruto. There was no time, no reaction as Naruto buried his fist in Haku's face, cracking the left side of the mask. Haku was thrown. A strange tentacle made from pure water wrapped around Naruto's waist and flipped him in the ear. Naruto twists as the tentacle pushed him above Haku. He brought his leg down. Haku's body bounced across the pavement, lifting into the air as he winks out in pain. Naruto sped past his descent and leaped upwards, delivering a gut punch that sent Haku into the air. The next moment, tentacles emerged from every single mirror, Haku mirror, and wrapped around him. They then threw him down straight towards Naruto. Another punch connected that completely shattered the mask. Haku was sent sailing, all the mirrors shattering like glass. Naruto thrust both of his hands out. The tentacles grabbed on and brought Haku on the bridge. Boom! Viciously slamming him down as he stopped moving completely. Sasuke stood there, surprised that it actually worked. When Naruto jumped inside, he whispered something to the Uchiha. "No matter what happened, just don't move." Haku was barely able to get back up due to the pain. All the Senbons that had hit Naruto, they vanished because none of them had truly hit Naruto. Over the time period here, Naruto learned to push his technique to the next level. The first thing was his manipulation over the hydrokinesis. It had gotten a lot more advanced. Naruto could now manipulate water on a much larger scale, creating waves, tentacles, and whips. And those whips had been formed from Haku mirrors. Naruto could reduce the temperature within the molecules of the water, completely changing the physiology, which would produce ice. It only came to his mind after witnessing what the hunter Nina did to save Zabuza. However, it was the first time he was doing this, so he was no expert. The ice manipulation was incredibly difficult, that is why he had to spend a few seconds dodging, while he had to put his mind together, trying to focus. The needles that hit him, the tips of them did not pierce his skin. He manipulated the water to turn it back into a liquid inside of the ice. He was able to undo even Haku Kekigenkai. While it was extremely strenuous and difficult, he did it. Those needles were not exactly in him, but just hovering there due to his manipulation. That is why he made Haku believe that he was taken out, in order to bring him in close. The moment Haku got out of the mirror, Naruto quickly manipulated one of them on the inside. Even if Haku had sensed the change, it would have been too late due to the proximity of all the mirrors, because he was only able to do two of them, and he did the ones closest. So the tentacle then wrapped around Haku's leg, and well, Naruto beat the living crap out of him. It was a good thing that Haku went down as well, manipulating the water back into ice, and the hydrokinesis, the whips, everything, doing all of that at once, took a hell of a lot out of him. His body felt drained, just like when the sun was beating down on him. He stepped forward knowing that if Haku was to rise again, he would be defeated, but that wasn't going to happen. Naruto stood over Haku, his kunai drawn. However, Haku was showing no sign of trying to fight Naruto. "What's wrong?" "Giving up," said Naruto. The answer surprised him. "Yes, I am." "Why?" said Naruto, not expecting the enemy to give up so easily. "You've bested me, and now I am a broken tool. Do as you must." "What the hell are you talking about?" said Naruto. "My only purpose in this life was to be my master's tool. But now, as a broken tool, I can no longer serve that purpose. Thus my life is yours to do with. I am no longer useful." Naruto was rather confused, surprised and shocked at the same time that someone would think of themselves in this way. "You're telling me that just because you lost, you're willing to immediately give up your life because of the man that you serve can no longer use you for his own well-being?" "Exactly," Haku said. Naruto clenched his fists. "I see that he's manipulated you to make you think that you're less than a person. No, he's not." "What?" said Naruto. "I had nothing left." As Naruto stood there, Haku told his story. The reason why he would easily die for Zabuza. His parents' death was on his hands. He took the life of his own father. They lived in a harsh place where bloodlines were seen as them being monsters. And he was the one that showed off his Ice Kiki Genkai. And for that, his mother died. And then he killed his father. He had nothing and no one left until he was found. Naruto had a hard time saying anything after that, as he looked down towards the mentally broken individual, believing that your life is so worthless that it meant nothing. "You're wrong," said Naruto. "And Zabuza, he's wrong as well, and he's a monster for what he has done." Haku glared at Naruto. "You know nothing. You don't know him," Haku yelled back. "And you are wrong," said Naruto, yelling back. "What kind of person deliberately make you think of yourself as a tool? As if your life is meaningless? What's the point of living? Just to serve their well-being? If someone actually cares about you, they will never let you think of yourself as such." "So he's a monster and you're wrong," Naruto said, having no idea why this was stirring so much emotions inside of him. On the other side, Sakura and the client had caught up, now standing beside the injured Sasuke. "I'm going to show you," said Naruto as he picked Haku up and started to walk. Zabuza and Kakashi was clashing against each other within the mist, when suddenly the mist started to recede. It started to vanish away, giving Kakashi a clear view of the man, taking away his environment advantage. Zabuza blinked in surprise as Haku was currently being held by the enemy, a kunai to his throat. "Enough of this," said Naruto. "Stop fighting, or I'll kill him." Zabuza was quiet for a moment. "Go ahead," he said. "Haku is just a tool to me, and it seems like he failed to serve his only purpose." Naruto wondered if he was just trying to act tough or if this was actually real. His hand waved for a bit. Zabuza sped forward, trying to take Naruto's head off, but Kakashi blitzed him and knocked him back, making Naruto realize he was correct. "So you do care about him," Naruto said. "If that wasn't the case, you wouldn't have tried to stop me a moment ago. You might stand there trying to act all brave and proud and like you don't give a damn, but you care about him. There's no possible way that you can spend the last couple of years with someone and watch your life waste away and feel absolutely nothing. You have any idea how conflicted he is? He believes that he's just a tool, something to be used, Judging by your words, I'm not surprised. He's your friend, your comrade, and yet you're willing to say these things to him. Do you have any idea how this is affecting him? What kind of monster are you? Knowing how dependent he was on you, you use his feelings to turn him into a mindless drone to only serve one thing. He's willing to fight and die for you. And even now, you can't admit it with your words, can you? Said Naruto. Perhaps I should kill him, Naruto said, bringing the kunai closer to Haku's throat. Perhaps then you'd realize what you've lost. As they say, people don't notice until it is gone. Haku winced slightly as Naruto pressed the weapon against his throat. Zabuza stood there. Naruto's words affecting him more than he believed it would. Clenching his fists, releasing his fists. He had no idea the lengths that this brat will go. There was a chance that Haku might die. Was he ready to risk that? Haku was a tool after all, just his weapon to be used, and he's still useful. However, his thoughts were interrupted by Naruto's gaze snapping beyond his. Feeling out through the mist that was still circulating at the end of the bridge. What the hell? He could feel the numbers getting stronger. Due to his advanced growth, allowing his sensory ability to increase a lot, Naruto could feel that they were getting stronger and stronger. There was a lot of them. He gazed over towards Kakashi. We have company. Well, a voice said. Gato, what the hell are you doing here? Zabuza asked. Isn't it obvious? You've wasted my time for the last time, Gato said, holding his broken arm. He glared towards Haku with a smile, flipping in afterwards. You have it right, kid. Kill him, he said to Naruto. After all, Haku was the one that broke his arm after he tried to force Zabuza out of bed. So he wanted Haku dead. Zabuza gripped his blade. You traitor, he said. Traitor? Tuh, I'm just a businessman. And this is what all of this is. Business. You, this village, all of it. And I'm the one with the money. That means I'm the one in charge. You failed me for the last time, that is why. He extended his hand and they emerged. There was so much thugs. Naruto released Haku, understanding the situation. However, Haku was still in no condition to fight as he crumbled down. The beating that Naruto gave him had really taken a hell of a lot out of him. However, Naruto stood in front of him, turning his back. Why? I'm your enemy still. And after what we've been through, you turn your back to me. I'm a pretty good sensor, especially with you being this close. I can see past deception and feel your intent. You're a pretty good guy. It's just a situation that you were forced in. And don't worry, I won't allow you to die, said Naruto. He walked towards the edge of the side as he looked over towards the copy ninja. Time for me to show you what I've been working on. The strongest, Naruto said, diving into the water. The other two saw that Kakashi showed no sign of anything. It seems like he was going to be just alright. The water shoot up from the side and form into a monster. A large beast that towered over the bridge. The beast was completely comprised of water. Its massive hands without fingers. It released a bellowed cry, terrifying everyone that was down below. Iniri and the others were heading that way, and they saw it and they froze up. However, seeing Iniri still continuing on, knowing that this was them, they moved forward as well. The thugs were petrified until flight or fight kicked in, and they ran for their life, jumping into the boats at the side, given that Naruto was on the right side. Gato tried to run as well, but He found himself trapped in a bubble. The bubble sent him sailing down towards where Zabuza was, right at Zabuza's feet. Gato looked up as the bubble popped, all of his men fleeing for their life. Wait, you don't have to kill me. I can pay you triple, quadruple for your... His head was removed. There was no playing around, no laughing around. His head was taken off with ease. Zabuza kicked his corpse off into the water. The other two arrive as they blink in shock. What is that? Sakura said, terrified. Is that Naruto? She questioned. Sasuke was alarmed, shocked by what he was witnessing. Even Kakashi was shocked as well. The water started to die down as they moved towards the end of the bridge. Naruto collapsed. He landed though. He looked up towards the team that was standing there. Before he fell, Kakashi caught him though. What the hell was that, he questioned. Having no idea when Naruto learned to do something like that. Having never witnessed Naruto create something that big. The amount of power that should be given due to its size would have been incredible. Oh, it can't fight, said Naruto. What? It was just a bluff. Remove the head of the serpent. And I figured that Zabuza would want some revenge for being betrayed. The others ran away like a flea. I don't think they will be coming back here, fearing what they just saw. So that was all a bluff, Zabuza said, actually starting to like this kid. Yeah, said Naruto. However, even the bluff was enough to knock Naruto on his ass. As he proceeded to pass out, the monster was just there for a show. He was able to gather the water, but actually using that was, at the moment, impossible. He just could not. Time skip. When Naruto woke up, they hadn't left just yet. It was Haku. Yes, Haku wanted to have a last conversation with him. As the both of them stood there, shaking hands, Haku was grateful for all that Naruto has done. Saving him, not just from everything, but allowing him to realize that Zabuza truly cared. Perhaps he already knew that, but hearing it, seeing it through his actions. Zabuza wasn't your soft type that would go about exposing his feelings, but Haku has seen enough. Yes, he's seen enough. Where will you two go now? Said Naruto. I'm not sure, but things will be different from now on. And that's because of you. Thank you, Naruto Uzumaki. They parted ways as friends, not as enemies, not as one of them dead, but as friends. Naruto still felt drained from everything that he went through, not to mention creating that monster. Sasuke demanded to know the amount of power that he now has, given the fact that Sasuke has been trying to one-up Naruto from all of Naruto's exploits. Perhaps it was due to him awakening the Sharingan. It came with another level of arrogance, demanding to be the better between them. But Naruto was not in a state to fight. Then again, their battle was making them stronger. They left the land of Wave without knowing the name that was constructed for the bridge. After all he has done, after reigniting hope, the great Naruto Bridge. Returning back to the village, Naruto received some rather surprising news. He stood in the office, wondering what was so serious to talk about. Time skip. Naruto was seated in the river, as usual, having received some rather shocking news. He never really gotten an exact answer why the people treat him this way, but the Hokage felt it best to inform him about it now. Turns out that he had the nine-tailed fox sealed inside of him. Naruto was upset, for many reasons. The Hokage tried to inform him that he did this to protect him, keeping this away from him, but Naruto was angry. The fact that he asked the Hokage numerous times and never received an answer. The fact that out of everyone else, he was chosen. Naruto had a very strong will. He knew about the people and their hateful looks, but he never truly focused on that. And due to him not being someone that publicized himself that much or stepped into a public avenue, all of the spotlight was not really focused on him, allowing him to slip within the shadows. However, Naruto was still quite a bit upset finding about this news so late. The fact that the Hokage knew all along, numerous times when he asked. Naruto just did not know how to feel about this. Why? Out of everyone else, why was he chosen? He sat there, the place that brought him the most calm, at the bottom of the ocean. Well, river to be quite exact. Naruto just wanted to take his mind off of this because he had no solution. He reached and held his hand out. The water twirled and formed into a kunai. He pressed it against his skin and proceeded to poke his arm. Blood started to trail from his arm slightly before it healed over. Naruto focused on that blood merging with the water and almost dissipating. He remembered what happened when he was facing the demon brothers, and he felt it. Naruto struggled as he held his hand out. However, in his mind he separated the molecules from the water and the blood. Naruto lashed onto it and the blood turned just slightly before his control slipped. He was right. He could manipulate the molecules in blood as well. But blood was in the human body. That meant Naruto wondered if he could manipulate it to that degree. He had no idea as of yet. But given how hard it was to even move it in water, which was his specialty, it wasn't going to be easy. Naruto closed his eyes, remembering that strange sensation that he always felt at first. He believed it to be a part of his power, but perhaps it was something else. Another along with his own power. Closing his eyes, Naruto relaxed, blocking everything else out as he dived deeper and deeper and deeper and even deeper. Naruto opened his eyes, looking around as he saw he was inside of a strange location. Naruto believed that the walk to the location was scary, but actually, face to face with a beast, it sent shiver down his spine as he gazed at the nine-tailed fox, the most ferocious, the most wicked, the most horrendous beast ever to live. Naruto felt petrified where he stood. The fox gazed down towards him with a ravaging smile. "Come closer," it said. However, Naruto wasn't an idiot. I'll stay right here." "Seems you're not as naive as I thought," it said, slamming its paw down. "I was about to rip you apart and devour your soul." Naruto felt a tremor went down his spine. He was unable to move. He took several deep breaths and calmed himself down. Naruto swallowed thickly. You can't do that." "What?" "Because if you can, you would have done so already," said Naruto. "And you're behind that cage. You think something like this will hold me forever? Well, you're sadly mistaken, human. Because I will break free. And the first thing I'll do is to rip you to shreds." It growled at him. A venomous growl So much rage, so much hatred. Naruto woke up back in the water, his entire mind refusing to stay there. No, that was terrifying. Extremely, utterly terrifying, Naruto thought. Time skip. Weeks flew by, and weeks turned into months. Team 7 ventured out on another one of their missions. Became a bit crazy. Naruto stood alone, as Sasuke was down, after delivering a strike, intending to take down their opponent, but he failed. Their opponent was a man known as Suyen. An altercation with the Land of Waterfalls. Suyen buried his knee within Naruto's gut with such force. Naruto spat up blood as he was thrown. Viciously, Naruto slammed right into a massive tree. The tree was known as the Tree of Life. Within the Land of Waterfall, a large colossal tree that hovered over everything. Naruto lay there bleeding. This man was way above his level. The man had consumed an item known as the Hero Water, which had granted him immense, truly immense amount of power on his already impressive power. They were going to lose. Naruto gazed over as the man was walking towards him, but Shibuki, the son of the once leader of this land, crashed into him. Shibuki was a very quiet and scared person. He was supposed to take over for his father, but he was too afraid. However, seeing kids that were much younger than him fight the enemy that was trying to take over the village that he was supposed to rule, he started to attack. But even then, Suyen, his former master, how ironic was that, was stronger. Despite knowing that he will lose, Shibuki refused to go down. After seeing what they did, he refused to give up no matter what. He attacked with a ferocity, using everything at his disposal, but his throat was grabbed as his body was beaten. I taught you, and now I have risen to the level of godhood. You stand no chance, Suyen said, hitting him with a water pulse that sent him crashing. As Naruto lay in the water, controlling Haku's water was easier. It was stagnant and frozen. Diffusing it was easier, but Suyen's attacks were so vicious and violent that it was harder, extremely so. However, he was never one to give up, even when the challenge was hard. Look how much they've done. Who was he to give up? He was Naruto Uzumaki. He never gave up, no matter what. Naruto felt a rush as the water around him started to bubble. Suyen snapped his head over to the side. What the hell? Naruto rose back to his feet. Want more? Even after realizing how much of a failure you are? Fine. I'll snuff your life away like I can do everything else now, he said. He formed a blade. However, he was shocked when Naruto formed one as well. He wiped the blood away from his lip as he smiled. I'm just getting started. They flash at each other and clash, cracking the ground as they did. Suyen was confused. What the hell is going on? I just bested him. How is he so much stronger? He delivered such a punch that all the air out of Naruto's lungs seemed to leave. A booming effect echoed through Naruto's back, but even then Naruto gripped his arm and jumped up to deliver an uppercut that snapped his head to the sky. Impossible. No one can defeat me now. I consumed the hero water. I'm supposed to be untouchable, he said. He brought his fist back down, but Naruto blocked it and aimed for his leg. Naruto shot him with two powerful water bullets. He winced in pain as Naruto jumped to his chest. He brought both of his arms out before punching in the side of his head. Naruto flipped over and grabbed his shirt, pulling him down. He flipped over back and slammed the back of his foot into his temple. Suyin winced out in pain before releasing a horrendous scream, blowing Naruto away. That's impossible. This shouldn't be possible, he said. I'm supposed to be untouchable. He reached for the container where the remaining hero water was. As he gulped the rest of it down, his power started to skyrocket. More and more and more. His eyes started to bulge. Froth started to come from the side of his mouth. His skin started to glow as the power circulated through him. He stepped and water burst out of the earth. Let's see you beat me now, you brat. I finally reach it. I am a god. Suyin dashed at Naruto with lightning speed as Naruto stood there calmly. When Suyin fist aimed to his face, he froze. Naruto's smirk returned back to his face. All you did was make yourself a much easier target. Suyin pumped himself up with a lot of water to make his blows more deadly, while the hero water exponentially grew your chakra reserves. He pushed so much water into his body due to his massive control over water manipulation to make himself stronger, but while Naruto was still nowhere perfect to manipulate someone's blood, the amount of water flowing through Suyin was like putting a target right at his chest and handing Naruto a kunai. So he froze. What the hell is this? He said. He stepped forward. Not today, said Naruto as he thrust his hand out. Suyin was sent sailing, smashing through all kinds of objects before smashing hard inside of a massive wall. He peeled himself off and collapsed down, only to look up to see Naruto, having sailed towards him by surfing on top of the water. Suyin's body flipped over as he slammed down hard. Due to Naruto control, as Naruto held his hands up, dozens of water arms formed, each of them around the size of a small tree. Naruto rain blows down on him relentlessly. Shibuki, who was witnessing all of this, was shocked. Could this really be a child? He questioned his sense of reality. A violent shout from Suyin sent Naruto sailing away. It was a burst of his chakra. Suyin got to his feet. Blood was all over him. His hair had turned white. That fool, Shibuki said. Stop this! You're going to burn yourself out! Give up! He shouted to his once master. Shut the hell up! I am the one in control. I consume the hero water, something that you've been afraid to do. I cannot be beat, he said as his power kept on rising. Naruto watched as he created a blade. He pumped the remaining energy in it as he sped at Naruto. Naruto generated water on his right fist. Harder, 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 he said as the water became more and more dense. Looking up, he saw him coming towards him much slower than before. Naruto water started to glow as he pumped more and more power, hardening the water. Looking up, Naruto ran. Him and Suyin running straight at each other without hesitation. Naruto pulled his fist back as Suyin pulled his blade back. Both objects collide together, creating a violent shockwave. The water sending all over, soaking Sasuke and Shibuki. As Sasuke was snapped back into reality, seeing Naruto clashing violently, the waves spiraling all over, Sakura, along with reinforcement, finally arrived. As the others that came with Suyin were bested by the reinforcements. Sakura looked a bit roughed up, but she was fine, having gone toe-to-toe with one of the enemies. Everyone paused in shock as they watched the scene in front of them, the ground cracking, the air trembling, water spiraling everywhere. Give up already, you brat. I won't lose. I will not lose, Suyin screamed, pumping out even more as he reached his limit. You're no god, said Naruto. You're just a sick, twisted man that believes he can take what he wants, whenever he wants. And I'll tell you this, when it comes to water manipulation, I have no equal. I have no better, because I am the god of water, said Naruto. A massive arm formed behind him from all the water. Suyin eyes widened as boom! It flew through Naruto and ripped Suyin apart, decimating the area. Everyone was soaked. It didn't matter where they were, as long as they were in this vicinity. Naruto was standing there, his one arm still raised and trembling. Sakura immediately rushed to his aid. However, Naruto was out like a light. Having used up majority of his power, he was unconscious, but he refused to fall. She grabbed onto him as he crumbled in her arms. She made sure to check him if he was okay, but he was just unconscious. Reinforcements made their way towards Suyin. He was plastered along the wall. His body was flimsy, as all of his bones were crushed into powder. His eyes were white and empty. All of them gazed over towards Naruto, truly wondering, how could a child have this kind of power? It was indeed frightening to believe. Meanwhile, at the Land of Stone, Oniki, their leader, was residing within his office. As someone was in front of him, I can do this, the person remarked. It was his granddaughter Kurosaki, and what they were talking about was the upcoming Chunin exams. It might seem strange that the Hidden Stone would be sending their people towards Konoha, but there was a reason for it. A lot has changed over the years. However, more and more, Konoha rise in strength and popularity, and it was time that they knocked them off that throne of theirs. And he knew exactly who was going to do it, their future leader. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see this person do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. But I'm off, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.